everybody, and welcome back to the Department Podcast. I'm Stephen Clark with Justin Valentovic and Jesse Norman, and we're here to break down SummerSlam 2020. You'll never see it coming. Fellas, before we get in the ring, how are you doing right now?
Pretty good. Madden's here. That's basically a thing, so I'm entertaining. MLB was fun, but it's definitely past its life cycle.
How was your concert?
Okay, honestly, for it being a COVID-19 concert, it was actually really well done. So we went to the one in Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, so that was a nice hour and a half drive for me yesterday. So in the email, they had a whole bunch of health and safety procedures, like wear a mask. Bathrooms will be sanitized after basically anytime someone goes in it. There's hand washing stations. Basically the only thing to leave your car for was the bathroom. And, the way they had it spaced out was basically every other spot, in a parking lot. And then behind it, there wasn't a car behind you because then they were doing every other one that way. So there's a good amount of – granted, I didn't get out of my car anyway. But basically – well, there was really no point because they –
No, it's a car.
You scanned a Q – well, I did afterwards. You scanned a QR code on your ticket, and that brought up a menu. And basically you could order food that way, and they brought it to your car.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's
cool.
So there were no lines for food essentially because you couldn't even go out and buy it. And then merchandise was the same thing where if you bought it through the band's app or website or whatever and used the QR code, you got a discount for the merchandise and they just ship it to you. So there wasn't merch table anyway. So that's why the only reason to get out was the bathroom. And I kid you not, they had a guy literally with what looked like a flamethrower on his back. But
proton pack.
It was basically a proton pack of basically hand sanitizer or some sort of disinfectant where the minute someone walked out of the bathroom, he would just go in there for about 2 minutes and just spray it to hell.
Just spray everything.
So nice. I give the Citizens Bank and Live Nation and everyone in part of it that the concert was very well done and it was very safe. Good. And, the stage was raised a lot. So if you wanted to sit on your roof, you could. But, they did the classic, instead of having a speaker up against your window or blasting music that way, you just tuned your radio in the car radio to either or two radio stations. Yeah. So the sound quality is really well. So if this is what concerts are like for, say, a year or so,
it's fine with it.
Yeah, because honestly, it's the same thing. And honestly, it's better because you're not hot, you're not sweaty, you're not getting grind up on by random people. There's no lines. You don't have to do anything. Yeah,
Justin has that problem.
There was one time at a concert, a woman was getting too handsy a little bit.
Whoa.
Well, she was a little drunk, but it was good for what it was. And kind of like wrestling, and even baseball and other sports, where it's you can take what you can get and not be too critical and just be thankful they're making the attempt to do it.
Yeah.
That was one of these situations because there was no opening act. They started right at 7:30. They were done at 9 o'clock. So they're hour and a half set. I was home from Philadelphia by 11:15.
Not bad.
So it was fun.
Good. Jesse, how are you?
I'm good. SummerSlam was fun.
SummerSlam was fun. Let's talk about that then, since SummerSlam was so much fun. Starting off the show, the kickoff show, Renee Young appears on the kickoff panel and announces
her last time ever.
Yeah, she says this is her last little stint with WWE, her last shebang or whatever she called it. So there were rumors running rampant about this, but nothing was actually confirmed by her or anybody in that nature. But a big thank you to Renee Young for everything she's done for the company. She's broken down barriers, and like they said, was the first female to be a commentator on Monday Night Raw permanently. So I wish her the best in whatever she does from here on out.
I really hope it's it'd be great to see her in wrestling still, obviously going to AEW.
She's going to AEW.
I hope, but she's too talented to just stay in wrestling. If she's, I don't know what sport she's into. She's a big hockey fan I've seen on her Twitter and whatnot.
Have her pair up with Barry Melrose.
No, but I'm saying if she somehow finds her way to ESPN, she earned that, and she'd do a really good job there too. I think
ESPN would want her very bad. I think they had been connected to her before, but she's definitely going to go to AEW.
Then maybe she wants to start a family first too. You never know.
Maybe. Renee's so good. Yeah. WWE just did not use her in the role that she was. She was an interviewer. She was a journalist. Yeah. They put her on commentary. That's not the same thing.
No,
those are very different.
Yeah.
She was not a great commentator. She wasn't the worst, but for her learning commentary, on the fly for the most part, and being put on a like huge show like Raw, like the
flagship show. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
It also shows the trust that they had in her, you know, even if it's not her forte, to run her out there and not pull her off right away if she did a bad thing. Like, they easily could have sent her down to like NXT and have her work there on commentary. You know, they started her right in the big leagues, basically.
Basically, yeah. She did a little stint here and there in NXT, but mainly Monday Night Raw, like you said. But good for her. I'm happy for her. I want her to be happy in whatever she does. She went out with no beef with the company, which is always good to see.
Well, that's the thing. You can kind of gauge on how someone's leaving if they put a tweet out about them leaving, like wishing them luck, not just the generic release, like we wish them well, but like if they actually put like a legitimate tweet out, because they did like a thank you Renee or like a Renee Young like appreciation tweet or something, whatever the hashtag was. So clearly they're on good terms, and if she were to come back down the road, the door is clearly open for her. And it's not like they're just like, all right, now get the hell out.
Sure.
Yeah. I think AEW will use her much better because I think they'll use her to her strengths much more than WWE did. Yeah, they won't have her on the commentary desk. They'll have her doing like backstage interviews, sit down interviews, like things like that. Like that is where she thrives.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. Last thing on the kickoff show, Apollo retained against MVP. MVP had a new theme song. He wasn't using his old the clock ticking Tropicana orange juice theme song. It was, I don't know if it's the Hurt Business's theme, but they also had these nice like black and gold shirts too. I was really digging the whole vibe of them, but it was a good match. I'm kind of shocked Apollo retained. I thought it was time to give the belts to the Hurt Business or the Hurt Squad, whatever the hell you call them.
I think it's Hurt Business is their
Hurt Business, right?
Yeah.
Hurt Business. But yeah, Apollo retained.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Even if they want to prolong this feud for a little bit, maybe get like Apollo versus. Yeah, but maybe if they want like go through all three of them, like now maybe put Shelton.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. They just keep doing MVP.
Over and over. It should be either Shelton Benjamin or Bobby Lashley at this point. So if they want to keep doing Apollo Crews versus the Hurt Business, just rotate it out.
And no appearance from Cedric Alexander because that was getting teased on Raw that he might be thinking of joining the Hurt Business. So nothing there. Nothing big happened on the kickoff except for Renee's last little appearance. So that's that. Let's get into the main card right now. We started off against one of Asuka's matches of the night, trying to get the SmackDown Women's title from Bayley. And not surprisingly, I would say, Bayley retains the championship, and Sasha Banks tried to interfere a little bit, which kind of helped Bayley get the win. So
did help Bayley get the win. She took the hit. She took the hit.
Yeah,
that's important for later.
That's we'll do that after this match too. Let's stay on this one for now. Yeah. Sasha took the hit, like you said. Bayley got the pin, beat Asuka. All right, it wasn't a bad match. I didn't think it did its job.
Yeah, it was good. It was especially if Asuka had to wrestle later on. Yeah. It was good. It was fine.
Yeah, no further words on this match. It was good. Like, the Thunderdome looked great, first of all. Thunderdome looked great again.
It gets better
Pyro,
and better.
And better, right?
Each time we see it, honestly.
Yeah, like I know, Justin, you sent me something earlier that there's a producer in the Thunderdome chats that are telling the WWE Universe what to do at certain moments to clap here, to cheer, or I guess not cheer, bro, but like clap and like get excited for certain things, which is smart because it felt more exciting compared to SmackDown. SmackDown was a big test, and this was like, all right, we know what to do now. Get more excited, make it look like a real show, and you have a better product because of that.
We talk about the Fire Velveteen Dream sign real quick.
That was fantastic.
Because because Clark, you had to read over the regulations of like everything because you were trying to get in there. Yep. That's a big violation of their terms and services for that thing.
Yeah, that guy was like really big on Twitter last night too. Like a bunch of people were praising him and stuff. He was very famous. But yeah, you can't. I guess you can't say that. Because it goes against the company in a way, but it's nothing.
It's not negative.
No.
Like, it wasn't a curse word or anything, but obviously they're probably not keen on that either.
Yeah, of course not.
He won't be getting a link next time because I'm sure they tracked that.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. He's done. It was his one and done thing. But I think I'm supposed to get a link today to go into Thunderdome. So hopefully it works out again today. I signed up again, but hey,
I feel like you'll get in one of the times, but you're gonna get stuck like so far up in the corner, like
it
won't matter.
No, that's not. But I just want to be in it just to say I was in there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's that. This is this. We're going to skip ahead in the show a little bit and just go to the Asuka and Sasha Banks match for the Raw Women's title now. Bayley tried to do the exact same thing that Sasha did, jumping up on the apron, trying to take the hit, but
she didn't take the hit.
She didn't take the hit.
She slid out of the way.
He slid out of the way, exactly. So Bayley falls down to the apron during this match. Asuka locks in her submission, and Sasha taps out to Asuka, and we have a new Raw Women's Champion in Asuka. And a little tension starting to brew between these two.
So
finally.
It's clear that they're going back to the earlier part of like them teaming up and working together. That it's truly Bayley who really just cares about herself. You know, because I remember earlier on we talked about maybe they switch it, where if Bayley loses, you know, it's Sasha who's the greedy one of the two. But clearly they're going to stay the path of Bayley only looking out for herself.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought this Asuka-Sasha match was really good.
It was maybe almost match of the night.
Match of the night, I would say. For me, it probably was match of the night.
Women's wrestling stealing the weekend, if we're being honest.
Yeah, well, and this one was so good.
Yeah.
Like, just all the ending, too, because I was like, okay, realistically, Asuka has to win because she's got to win one of the belts if she's in 2 matches. But they had me where I was like, oh, no. I was like, Sasha's got to have this, like, through certain times. Because the ending, the last 5 minutes, I feel like were so back and forth that it just felt like anybody was, like, going to get the upper hand.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought it was a really good match.
It was a very good storytelling, too, I would say. A lot of good storytelling during the night, but this had very good storytelling involved. And also, Sasha and Bayley have to defend their tag titles at next week's pay-per-view, Payback. So
have we found out why they're doing it so close back to back?
It's the name. I think that's why. Yeah. It's called Payback. It kind of makes sense.
But they've ran Payback before, but made it longer.
It used to be like the old, not old days, but old days for us, where like WrestleMania was, 1 month, and then Backlash was always the other because you're having the backlash of
WrestleMania.
Yeah. Now it's like, okay, I understand they're doing the payback to SummerSlam basically, but it's not even September yet.
No, that's like the last day in August or second to last day.
The second to last day because it's August 30th.
30th, yeah.
So if they wanted to do it. Like, I understand why you would do Payback in general, like, after a Big Four.
Yeah.
I just don't get the scheduling of it is my thing.
I don't either, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why they're doing it.
Maybe leading up to it, like, they'll do a press call, like what they normally do or whatever with the media, maybe explain it more. But I'm just interested why it's so early.
Well, the thing for me that's, like, super weird, too, is, like, is there a lot of fallout coming from SummerSlam?
There's some.
I mean, like there's Bayley, Sasha,
Orton, McIntyre.
Bayley, yes, Orton, McIntyre. There's controversy, but like not.
That's
really.
That's why I think
Drew won. Like he won with a backslide, but he won.
But it's still kind of.
It's not like a decisive.
It's not decisive enough.
We'll get to that in a little.
We will.
I have some thoughts about that.
Definitely the ending of the show with Roman coming back, like
might get Roman versus Braun for a number 1 contendership or something.
But do you do that at Payback right away?
Braun wants to get payback on Roman for beating the hell out of him with a chair.
Yeah,
get a number 1 contender match.
Same thing. I saw Bray Wyatt's Twitter. I think Clark, you might have liked it, where he tweeted out like "It never forgets," obviously referring to the Fiend. So maybe the Fiend also wants payback then at that point for getting the hell beat out of him.
Anyone but you, Roman.
Yeah.
Anyone but you, Roman. All right, that was the women's title matches on the show, but let's go back into order of the card. We had the Street Profits made a cool entrance with some reigning solo cups. Very innovative, and I really enjoyed it. I just wanted to point that out. I thought it was fun. You don't see stuff like that. Hopefully that's more stuff to come in the Thunderdome, more fun little quirky stuff like that. But they defended their titles and retained their titles against Andrade and Garza, and this was probably my biggest shock of the night. I did not see this coming. I thought it was finally time to have Andrade and Garza win the title. They've been a mainstay on Raw since the pandemic. I'm shocked. I was just shocked. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the feud's done, right? Like they beat them every single time.
Yeah, this has been going on since Mania. This was a Mania match.
Yeah. Also, nothing was made of the Zelina Vega poisoning.
No.
Yeah, they just kind of
which makes me think that this is not over. And they're going to have a payback
and then
match. At Payback, maybe Garza and Andrade finally win.
But then, like, what the hell is this whole thing where they're having, like, Caleb Braxton almost then feud with Vega also? Like, are they just going to try to add another layer to it?
I just don't think they're trying to get the point across that Zelina Vega's not a nice person. I just think that's the feud. I don't know.
But, like, if they were going to win the tag titles, they should have done it now, because now it just seems like they don't know what they're doing with.
It should have happened now.
If it was Garza or Almas, honestly.
No, it doesn't. They just don't know what to do with them, honestly. Because
but also at the same time, who else would be going for the Raw tag team titles at this point?
The Vikings, Ricochet, Cedric, Hurt Business.
Point, yeah.
There's teams out there.
There's teams they just don't care about.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ricochet and Cedric I'm sorry, they don't care. They do not care about Ricochet and Cedric. There's no chance. That they should go to NXT. They would be a great NXT tag team.
Yeah, because NXT needs tag teams, first of all.
Yeah.
And they will actually get used, too, in NXT, which is good.
Yeah. I would assume they do it one more time at Payback. Andrade Garza win? You gotta give them something. And then maybe do Vikings and them.
Yeah, and have the Vikings hold the belts for a little while. Then I don't know. I'm lost.
I really just think they don't care about the tag team division, which needed to Braun, I guess.
And for the longest time too, they were such a the tag team were some of the more entertaining matches to watch when you had the Usos, the New Day. That was the Bar, even those were great tag teams, 2 years ago, if that.
Yeah.
And now it's just the forgotten division, basically.
Yeah.
It is the forgotten
division. Even at that point, I don't think they were putting the spotlight on those teams. They just were stealing the spotlight.
Literally.
Those Usos New Day matches were overshadowing world championship matches.
And they were on a kickoff sometimes too.
Yeah.
Usos in the New Day,
so let's not act like, they were like, oh yeah, we got these great tag teams. I really think they were like, oh, let's run this. And then New Day and Usos made it so good that the fans cared that then they were like, oh, this was the feud of the year. Which, it probably was, but not due to WWE.
Yeah, no, for sure. I 100% agree. The tag division needs to get eyes on it or something. Just care about the tag teams. Once you care about something, it will all come together. That's all I have to say on that subject matter. It's annoying. It's honestly just annoying. All right, let's get into Loser Leaves WWE, Sonya versus Mandy Rose. This was probably the low point of the night.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best. Sonya looked like broken Matt Hardy walking to the ring, and Mandy was.
I was more interested when this was hair versus hair.
I still thought it was hair versus hair. I was so confused
until they changed it on Friday. On Friday, they changed it.
It was probably a way to write Sonya off to deal with the legal issue.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. She's not gone. For sure.
It's just to tend to the guy creeping on her and borderline breaking into her house.
Literally with a knife and whatever. And Mandy was with her that night too, which is
So I guess
creepy.
Still,
I guess just for
friends.
the court to be more presentable, I guess in court, not to have a shaved head. It was probably just one less distraction to have. It's just that's probably why they call the audible too.
I know what you mean. Yeah, no, I get you. But Mandy won. They brought out a table and they didn't do anything with the table. It was very.
They threw a chair across it.
Yeah.
It was I don't know. It was the low point of the night, but it was a great show all around still. But it was still the low point of the night.
I feel like if it was hair versus hair, it probably would have stayed. It would have been a little bit better just because the stakes.
It would have been more interesting.
I just thought the match itself
wasn't anything special. It just wasn't
Mandy's
special.
elbows looked terrible,
and Mandy's outfit too.
It was weird. I didn't think it was
not too high.
I was kind of high, like, coming into it on this match. Like, I was like, oh, bet they're finally giving Sonya like a chance to, do something on pay-per-view. Yeah.
Well, that was Sonya's first singles match.
Yeah.
On pay-per-view, and wasn't the greatest. It was okay. Wasn't the greatest, but they did what they could with what they were given, I guess. I wish it was hair versus hair still, but outside circumstances probably changed that, like Justin said.
Yeah.
And apparently Sonya leaves WWE for now, and until
she'll probably come. She'll probably be back.
She comes back at Payback. Like she John Cena Nexuses it. Like Cena's fired, the next week he shows up.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I really wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Well, then if that's the case, it's like, why even put the stipulation in?
Hey.
Yeah, just have her go away.
Never count it out.
Yeah. Wait, the stipulation of loser leaves?
Yeah, if they're just gonna bring her back say they brought her back at Payback, it's like then that just completely defeats the purpose.
Well, I don't think they will, but I'm saying don't count it out. The only reason I'm saying they won't, especially, is because of the legal matters and the time off she needs. If this was like regular storytelling, I definitely think she would be back at Payback.
Yeah, no.
They'd give Mandy a title shot because she beat Sonya, and Sonya would cost it.
Yeah. Okay. But the real star of this little segment here was Mr. Otis trotting down to the ring, lifts up Mandy once she wins, and they recreate the famous Macho Man and Elizabeth pose from WrestleMania 4, I would like to say. WrestleMania 4, and it was a nice little touch. Mandy can't do the worm. I don't know what she was doing. She was more humping.
That was bad.
It was like she was just really face planting into the
bat.
Yeah. She needs some worm or caterpillar lessons from.
Could you do the worm, Clark?
Maybe I'll give it a shot. If we hit 100 subscribers pretty soon, maybe I'll give it a shot.
And we're allowed to be in person together?
Yeah, that too. I'll say that right here. 100 subscribers, and I'll do it.
All right.
But we have to hit it by...
New Year's?
Yeah, New Year's. Christmas.
Okay.
Give it till Christmas. If we hit 100 subscribers by Christmas, I will record myself doing the worm, and it will be uploaded to YouTube or something. All right. Continuing in the show. Woo! We have Justin's favorite, Dominic Mysterio, versus the Monday Night Messiah, coming out in the Halloween Havoc 97 year, Seth Rollins. And this was a storytelling masterpiece from start to finish.
Okay. I can actually take Dominic seriously now. One, because I've seen him in actual gear and not just like jeans and baggy jeans and a t-shirt. Also, he got rid of the crappy like prepubescent little stubble on his chin. It actually looks like an adult now.
Yeah. And also, he's good in the ring, like I said he was going to be. But I told you
his gear. Dominic, like I don't mind the vest. Like I like the vest, his whole look. But why did it have the hood?
It's like almost like a thing like Rey Mysterio has the mask. It's like a homage to him, I guess.
Yeah, but he didn't even he wore it like for the entrance for like a second and then took it off and then that was it.
No, it was on the whole time. I thought until Seth ripped it off.
Yeah.
No, but it was just like dangling the back of his head. I don't know.
Yeah. It was just a storytelling masterpiece.
It was a great match. It was a good match, though. I'll give it that.
Yeah, Seth was into it. You can tell. Dominic
was super into it.
Yeah, Dominic proved a lot of people wrong with his in-ring ability.
Myself included.
Yourself. Angie Mysterio was there, the mother of Dominic, to add to the story. That was fun.
I feel like that just ramps it up. That was needed just to ramp it up a little bit more.
It was, and just the whole story of then Ray getting handcuffed and all this. It was just really good all around. I really enjoyed this match. This was almost my match of the night, I would say.
They're definitely going to have they're going to have a match at Payback then.
Maybe might be Seth and Buddy versus Ray and Dominic or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they'll do they're going to do a cleaner, like, not street fight.
Yeah. But I had no problem with this match at all. I thought it was really good.
No, I thought it was good. I thought this was a really good match.
And adding the street fight element just enhanced it too. Like it was like the stipulation at first, it seemed like it was going to help like cover any shortcomings Dominic had.
Yeah.
But they didn't really need that anyway. It just added to the story of the match.
I told you he was good in the ring. I knew it was.
That was your scouting report?
Yeah, he was going to be good. I knew he was going to be good. You were like, get him out of here. I was like, no,
It was funny,
though. He's the new high flyer.
They kept referring to how they kept referring to the SummerSlam match of, Eddie versus Ray in the ladder match, but they always left out that Dominic was the reward for the winning.
Oh, of course they leave that out.
They're just leaving that out. They're like, let's not talk about that one.
Because that won't fly in 2020, having a kid's life almost literally.
Having it depend on.
Yeah, but back to what Justin was saying about the gear. Let's talk about both of these guys' gear. Dominic almost looked more like Seth Rollins' kid than Rey Mysterio's kid, with the cut-off vest thing and like the tight pants and all that. But Seth's gear was really, really cool too. Added to the story, just like you said, it adds to the story. Just the Halloween Havoc gear, like poking fun at Rey almost, because that was a match with Eddie too, the Halloween Havoc '97, and it was just a storytelling masterpiece, start to finish. Yeah. All right.
I agree. Thought it was very good.
Perfect. Okay. We already talked about Asuka going 1 for 2 and becoming the champ. So let's.
Oh, real quick, the Sasha powerbomb off the apron.
Yes.
To Asuka.
Yes.
Incredible.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. All right. So
I would say probably spot of the night for me anyway. It was good. I loved it.
Yeah, I'd say spot of the night too. Yeah. All right. So we have about 10 minutes left here. We'll get into McIntyre Orton, and then we'll finish up the main event. We might have to finish McIntyre Orton a little after our little break too. But let's start off with McIntyre and Randy Orton. So McIntyre retained his WWE Championship against Randy Orton, and in the words of JR, just a slobber knocker from start to finish, a hard-hitting fight, and he won. He won by a roll-up though. It was odd. It was an odd ending, but I get if they're going forward with this at Payback. Jesse, what did you think about this? Because you said you had some words on this.
I liked the match. I really liked the match. They got me really into it. I understand that they want to keep this going.
Of course.
So that's why they do the backslide.
Yes.
But that felt cheap.
For a world title match, it felt cheap.
Well, and as much as you said, even if you take everything else away from it, the slobber knocker that it was, the hard-hitting match that it was,
very hard.
Finisher was not hit.
Insane. You don't see that. You don't see that anymore, where finishers are not hit.
I would be okay with that on a Raw match or a SmackDown match. I think finishers are kind of used a little bit, maybe too much sometimes.
Yes.
But in a pay-per-view match where the title is on the line, to get pinned without going through a Claymore kick at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels
cheap.
It feels a little weird, especially because I think they did this match so well.
Yeah.
They ruined it for me because they got me super into it. Also, I think Randy should have the title.
They're definitely going to run this back at Payback next weekend, though.
Yeah, I think that's your main event. Since it didn't main event SummerSlam, that's your main event of Payback next week for sure. Because I think Orton might win, honestly, too.
Yeah,
I think he should.
Maybe they just wanted to give Drew another from a Big Four to a Big Four kind of run.
Yeah, very possible. No,
yeah,
I agree.
I went into this and I was like, whoever wins, it'll be good. Drew and Orton, they both still would have story to tell, everything like that. But then as the match went on, I was like, Orton, please pull this out. When he was setting up the punt, I was like, kick his head off, Orton, please, for the love of God.
Well, he's got to do the McAfee punt instead.
No, his punt's better.
The better punt, the McAfee punt.
The McAfee punt does some real damage.
No, it doesn't. He punts you in the chest.
He knocked out Cole.
Orton kicks you directly in the head.
So imagine if McAfee punted you in the head, how much longer Cole would have been.
Yeah, but he can't do that.
Because
he can't do it safely yet.
Clark, do you know any of your former punters from high school?
I know a kicker, not a punter.
That's good enough. Get them. We'll have Jesse. You're going to get kicked in the chest and then the head, and tell us which one hurts more, and then you'll figure it out.
No, because Orton, I'm saying which one looks better. Orton's punt looks decisively better than McAfee's.
I can't even remember who our punter was thinking now. I really can't. I know our kicker is.
You guys scored all the time, so you didn't have to worry about it.
Exactly. Honestly, we probably just went for it on fourth down. I really don't remember punting the ball. But anyways, no finishers hitting this match. Hard hitting, blood. Both of these guys were busted open.
Drew's blood spot was nice too because Orton gouged the eye.
Yeah.
And he was bleeding like right at the eye. I was like,
smart.
Oh, that looks smart. Yeah.
And I think they said on commentary that Orton had Drew's blood on him, but I don't think that was correct. I think Orton had a cut on his hairline. I'm pretty sure.
I think he did too, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it was that's what you want besides the ending out of a world championship match. You want two guys just going at it, beating up each other, and just trying to get the title at any means necessary. And that's what Drew kind of did too. He rolled them up any means necessary to retain his title. So I can't complain because of Payback next week, but it was kind of a cheap way to end a world title match, if you're asking me.
Because like it's kind of like a one-up, like Drew kind of escaped from the title type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's probably how they're going to set it up for Payback.
It's more of a heel move than a face move.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
It's kind of like just get out of there and on to the next one and move
Get out of there with your title, yeah. Well, I think that's going to be Orton's point, too, is like, you took the first way out. Like, I wanted to punish you. I wanted to, like, destroy you.
Maybe
maybe a last man standing match then?
I was just about to say that. Maybe a last man standing match now. Or like maybe not a steel cage. I don't know. They might do something. I would just
go street fight. Only because Orton,
you can still do a roll up in a street fight.
Orton's already done last man standing. I think
true.
they're saving. They're saving I Quit for Edge. I think.
But then at that point, if they do a street fight, Drew did 2 Extreme Rule matches basically back to back already.
Those were Dolph. They don't count.
Yeah. But then the last man standing match was against Edge, so then that doesn't count against Randy then.
Well, no, Edge counts because Edge matters.
Dolph
Ziggler doesn't matter.
He matters once a year for his title run.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Goldberg, basically. They're basically the same person. They're literally the same person.
Yeah.
Goldberg and Dolph Ziggler. But
they're not the same person.
They are.
Same productivity.
They had a title match once a year. They show up a couple weeks, and that's it. That's literally it. Just a little age gap, but that's it.
Just a little age gap.
Yeah. And before we end really quick, we saw a little vignette on SummerSlam that Keith Lee is coming to Monday Night Raw tonight. So I'm excited to see what he does. Raw needed some big guys. They have a lot of small guys. I'm excited to see what he does.
I'm just surprised they're bringing him up as fast as they did. Like, they're not even giving him a rematch. They're just getting him the hell out of there and moving on.
Good.
And
I think that's the best thing for him.
Me too. I'm excited. I'm very excited. And he wasn't in NXT for that long. He only made his debut a little over 2 years ago in NXT.
Well, that's almost a testament to how well this year was for him and how well he performed, in the Rumble and at Survivor Series. Like, he put himself on the map and put himself in this position. Yeah.
No, he did it all himself. And like Jesse and I said in the second half of the last episode that Justin wasn't a part of because
hopefully I can make the second half of this one.
Oh, I hope so. But Jesse and I said that Vince likes him. He was a standout at Survivor Series and the Rumble. So he already has some recognition and notability on the main roster. So it's exciting to see. And Vince loves his big guys. So it's exciting to see where this goes.
Yeah.
A big sweaty man. Vince loves him. Vince loves him.
So what do you think they do? Like, what do you think they do with him though? Like,
you get a squash match tonight against Mojo Rawley or some crap. I don't know. One of the 24/7 or Raw Underground guys. One of those people. Quick squash match. But does he join like the Hurt Business or something, or does he feud with them? I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be all like, I don't know. It's weird.
I don't think you could, like, I haven't
he can be like,
he doesn't need a group.
If we're being honest, the Hurt Business is very similar to Nation of Domination. He could be the Mark Henry of the Hurt Business, if we're being real.
Yeah, well, and he should be the star that breaks out of the Hurt Business. Because right now the Hurt Business doesn't have a star.
Yeah, maybe they collect.
But also...
And then... You have like a Lashley Keith Lee feud or something.
I think we also might be putting too much stock into the Hurt Business.
They've been getting used a lot every week.
Yes, but they might still not ever win any titles.
All right. Well,
I still think they could not win anything.
We'll continue this debate in a little bit because our timer's running out. We'll start off the next little break with this debate. But stay tuned. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Seconds. After that short little break right there, it wasn't a long break like our last wrestling recap show. I'm sorry,
Comcast sucks, and at 1 a.m., God forbid, it works when no one else is on it.
Yeah, Justin got kicked out of the other show. Justin's back here, but I wanted to share this little image. That's my background.
For once.
There's Justin frozen right there for our YouTube watchers and listeners that are listening to the department. So that's Justin. Now I'm going to get rid of that because I don't want that behind me anymore. And I have to figure that out. But back to the Keith Lee debate. I don't know what they're going to do with him. It's just a very iffy situation. If he's going to be in a stable, if he's going to be on his own, is he going to be in a tag team? Is he going to get used? Is he going to get wasted? It's scary. It's very scary. But I don't see him being in the Hurt Business as a bad thing. I think it'd be kind of fun, honestly.
If he goes to the Hurt Business, he should, they should move to the main event at that point then. Because then they have one full main eventer in Keith Lee and one semi-main eventer in Lashley.
Yeah. And have them get all the titles.
And you can make Benjamin a mid-carder.
Yeah, have them just obtain all the titles. And make them the stable, and then you call up Undisputed Era. You got a little 4-on-4 going on. You have the Keith Lee and Adam Cole feud already from back at the Bash. You have a little tension right then and there. I don't know. I like that. I do. But it's scary. It's just very scary.
I'm worried because I hope they don't just have him. I don't hope they don't Aleister Black him. Is my thing.
Just pull him up and have absolutely nothing.
And then and make him like a defender of what is good, like the moral police, basically, because that's basically what they turned Aleister Black into.
Not what Aleister Black is.
But that's what they turned him into. So I really hope they don't make him like the morale guy. Like he's defending it for the sake of being good.
I hope not.
That could be a complete disaster then.
Could definitely be what it is.
I know it's exciting that he's getting called up, but it's always scary. It's always scary.
Well, it's scary, especially because look at the track record, man.
That's why it's scary.
Look at the track record.
There's literally not more than 2 or 3 people that have had a consistent run on the main roster.
Look at the main event scene. If it's not the women's division,
no, even people in the main event scene have had time where they weren't doing anything. Like Bray Wyatt, who came from NXT, had a year and more years than anything of just not doing anything. He was in a tag team with Matt Hardy.
Bray was terrible Bray wasn't terrible. Bray was they booked him so bad that until he came back with the Fiend,
it was literally horrible.
It was bad. They did the delete for world.
One thing they did right, though, from NXT, Vince has been really behind the Street Profits, I feel, because they have constantly been at the top of the tag division, have held the titles for a little while now. But it's still very early in their run, so we don't know what the future holds for them.
And again, the problem is, they've been really good.
Yeah.
The division has been really bad.
That's the thing, too.
So... they look really good, but they're kind of being the best in a really, really bad division.
Yeah.
So
and it's early. It's just too early to tell.
Yeah, Shinsuke at first looked like he was booked, not great, but the AJ, thing leading up, everybody was like, oh, yes, great. This is what we've been waiting for.
When he came up, he had the match with Ziggler, which was fine, a fine first match.
Everybody was doing that at that time. Every NXT call was doing Ziggler.
Exactly. Had the moment with AJ at Money in the Bank. But then he got like eliminated first in Survivor Series. Everyone's like, oh, here goes Shinsuke. But then he wins the Rumble. So everyone's like, yay, he's back. And then, he loses. He starts hitting people in the nuts, and then down goes Shinsuke
and
Nakamura.
Also loses to Jinder.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I've missed that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to skip that altogether because we know how we feel about Jinder and all that nonsense.
NXT call-ups are just always scary.
It's always scary. I understand that not everybody can be the top guy, and you have your set amount of top guys and all that.
But Keith Lee is a top guy.
Keith Lee's
I don't think there's any question about that.
Adam Cole is a top guy.
Yeah. Cole is the one that really scares me. Because if Cole doesn't come up with the group, he's just another small guy. He's just another Ricochet, Balor. Yup, he's just another one of those.
Scary. It's like there have been top guys in NXT: Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, all these guys that I thought at that time were future WrestleMania main eventers. And looking at them now, it's just, it's possible still, but it's very iffy.
Each passing day makes it harder and harder. I know you still hold out hope. I don't think there's any hope that unless the fans full on get behind him in Kofi style, Kevin Owens is not going to ever main event a WrestleMania by far.
I hope.
No chance.
I just hope Balor and Owens both of them get another world title run somewhere down the line.
Don't think they will, honestly.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
And what sucks is because Balor's one reign was supposed to be, the launching pad for him, and it was
and as soon as he got hurt, they stopped
trusting him.
I don't care what anybody says. They stopped caring about Balor once he got hurt.
And they didn't trust him either, I think, too. Because
they've done that with Joe, too. When Joe should have won the title from AJ, I think he didn't because they were scared he was going to get injured.
Well, that kind of proved right on their part because
Joe's been injured again. Maybe don't have Joe go on 300 day house show tours, but who am I? Maybe the guy's been working in the business for 20 years, so he probably shouldn't be doing all the house shows. But
you're not wrong there. But we said this before too. Having no house shows is such a big help to everybody involved.
Such a big help.
Yeah, it's better product, staying healthier. It's just less traveling. It's after you're done at the Thunderdome, you just have to go home and just hang out until the next time you have to be at the Thunderdome now. It's fantastic, and I love every second of that. Let's get into our main event of the evening. It was Braun Strowman defending his Universal Championship against The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Entrances looked great in the Thunderdome. I didn't say this for McIntyre too, but his entrance in the Thunderdome.
The pyro was awesome.
When he was in the ring, that pyro, it was just very cool.
I hope when life gets back to normal and fans, slowly start making their way back, I hope they work out a way to keep certain aspects of the Thunderdome for a live crowd.
Yeah, some of the pyro, I get you can't do with the crowd because it's literally on the people.
The flamethrowers are literally behind the LED boards.
Yeah, but the Orton pyro coming down from the ceiling like he used to have back in the day, I think they can still do that somehow. But I don't know.
I like the LED board above the ring. I hope they find some way to keep that to some degree. Like
the way NXT does too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think it's a nice camera shot. It's a very nice camera shot. Back to the main event. Fiend, Strowman, Universal Championship. Not bad. One of the Fiend's, honestly, I think best matches as the Fiend, I would say. It's 1 year since his debut, so we've seen some matches with the Fiend, but I thought it was really good. It was really one of Strowman's best matches too. It was just good all around. I'm starting to get used to bald Strowman, but it was good. And Fiend won, obviously. Fiend is the new Universal Champion. And before we get into who returns and all that, what did you guys think of the match? I thought it was really good for what they did.
Yeah, it had its moments. I liked that Braun ripped up the ring again.
Yeah.
I always found it funny, how the exposed wood is harder than the exposed concrete. How they try to make the ring landing on an exposed ring is the worst thing can happen to somebody. But also, I think the last time we saw a ring get ripped up was what? the Brock Undertaker, maybe?
I have no idea. I feel like it was a while. It was a while, at least.
The last one that comes to mind is Ciampa Gargano street fight.
Oh, that too.
That's right.
I didn't even think about that one. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was what, Chicago?
Yes.
Chicago street fight. Yeah, the Chicago street fight.
Yeah. But I like the match. It did what it had to do again. That's all this show did. It did what it had to do. It got us to the point we needed to be at. They went backstage. It was a street fight. It didn't just stay around the ring. They went backstage and took a gorilla position. They came out. They ran each other into the walls and down the ramp, and it was fine for a street fight. I had no problem with this. And everyone went home happy because The Fiend won the title. Not a lot of people are a fan of Strowman. He's a great guy, but not a great wrestler.
A great champion.
Not a great face and a great champion, correct. I agree, Justin.
Like, if they want him to have the belt, they got to make him the monster heel. You know?
He has to be heel.
And it seems like that's kind of what his interaction with The Fiend did, was break him a little bit. To maybe that's how they're going to slowly work him back to being that, tank of a wrestler. Yeah,
for sure. I agree with that. I forgot what I was going to say. It was right at the tip of my tongue, but I forgot what I was going to say. Strowman. Do you think this is what it is? Strowman.
Okay.
All right. So The Fiend always, like, when someone versus The Fiend, they always go back to their past selves now. And when they lose to The Fiend, more importantly, that happens. Do we see Strowman align himself with The Fiend in some way now because he lost to The Fiend?
The way I could see it is maybe the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So maybe they work together because of Roman taking them both out afterwards. So maybe they just work together to take out Roman then.
I like that. I like that a lot. Hire Jay Val for the booking team. I like that. I really like that.
So I'm not sure where they're going forward with this. I have a couple questions.
Tell me.
One, is Alexa Bliss dropped from this storyline, or was she just not at SummerSlam? Do you think Alexa Bliss is, like, done with this story?
I want to say I want to say both, because Roman came back, is involved now.
Okay.
I want to say both. She wasn't at SummerSlam, and she's not involved anymore. Gotcha. Which is sad, because everyone's been dying for her sister Abigail for years
since Bray
now.
Debuted.
Yeah.
Literally, since he mentioned her name when he debuted. Basically.
There's been about, like, 9 possible female wrestlers who could have been Sister Abigail.
Oh, my God. Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Alexa, all thrown in, like, to be names to
just
be
to
Sister
do
Abigail.
Nothing with it.
Well, yeah, but I like the idea of Strowman and Wyatt being a little stable. I think you might get Wyatt and Roman next on Payback next week, and Strowman helps Wyatt maybe. I don't think you see Strowman all week on TV. I think he just shows up, helps Wyatt. Wyatt gets the pin against Roman at Payback.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Roman. Roman returned. That's the bigger picture here. Roman returned. It looks like with a new attitude. A lot of people are calling him a heel. And new teeth. He was looking like a handsome guy.
Yeah.
He was looking handsome. He was looking big, jacked, new teeth. Good for him. A lot of people are calling this a heel turn. I'm not calling this a heel turn. People are forgetting the character of what Roman Reigns is. No nonsense, hard-hitting, getting the job done, whatever his shirt says. I forgot.
Wreck everyone and leave.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, Stone Cold shirt. I'm getting Stone Cold vibes 100% from this. This is the Roman that kind of people wanted. They didn't want the smiley Samoan Roman. They wanted the hard-hitting, no-nonsense Roman Reigns.
Well, and the Roman character that was there kind of before, the one that people didn't like and kind of turned on. I know people don't want to hear this, but that's Drew's character now. Drew is the locker room leader. Drew is the hard-hitting, I'm the champ. And everybody likes Drew for it, and that's fine, because it's fine.
It's likable. It's supposed to be likable.
Its thing, yeah.
Yes,
that's Drew's character. So Roman needs a different one. Being just, a badass that goes around and takes the title, Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of style, I would argue maybe 2011 John Cena style of just I am going to destroy whoever's in front of me.
Yeah, not the personality, but the mindset.
But the mindset of just I am going to beat everybody that is in front of me. And I think Roman's gonna be like that Austin Cena kind of he's a face, but he does do heel things. Like, remember when Batista said "I quit" and Cena still threw him off the car? Like, that's a heel move.
It
is.
is.
I think that's what Roman's gonna do too. Like, he's like, hey, I'm here to like beat people up. Like, that's my thing.
He's just here to win championships and collect his paycheck, honestly. And I like that attitude of Roman Reigns.
It's like the mercenary mentality then.
Yeah,
for sure.
That.
For sure. I like that a lot. Yeah.
So another point that I think we haven't hit on yet.
Tell me.
No retribution.
That's right. That's
None.
right. Nothing. No.
The group that calls themselves
That's right.
Retribution.
Because they're not a part of the storyline.
They're not a part of WWE. They're just a group that calls themselves.
Yeah, no retribution. No, like, power outages, really, or
nothing
anything.
To screw with it.
Nothing.
So, what does that mean?
Roman took them all out in the parking lot. He's the new security guard for WWE.
Honestly, would not be surprised. But nothing, literally nothing.
Nothing.
No NXT, no 205 Live, no pay-per-view, just Raw and SmackDown. Maybe they had better security for pay-per-views. I don't know. But nothing. I was kind of disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be – I predicted on last show.
I thought they would screw up the title match.
Yeah, that's what
I predicted we'd find out who the leader is at least.
Yeah.
This group, or if there is a leader, or are they all equals like the core was supposed to be, all equals. Oh, the core, great group, great group, great. I had the core T-shirt.
You have a T-shirt of probably how many wrestling T-shirts do you think you have?
I have no idea, because I've been getting them since I was a kid. Obviously, I've gotten bigger.
Do you think you have more action figures?
Action figures.
Oh, okay.
For sure, action figures. If I had that many T-shirts, I could set up a Goodwill basically and just
Loathe America.
Exactly. No, I don't have that many. I've been trying to cut down on them too because I have a lot and I don't need to keep buying T-shirts, even though I want the new Roman one because that's kind of cool. But anyways,
if Pat gets one, though, it's a must.
I might just get a For the Brand shirt. Honestly, I don't have a For the Brand Pat shirt, so I'll get that. But back to Retribution. Yeah, nothing. It was disappointing to me. That was the one disappointing thing. Does Roman have something to do with Retribution? You never know. Maybe it is a heel turn then, and Roman has something to do with Retribution.
They're not going to turn Roman heel ever.
Roman's little army.
Cancer.
Yeah, that was also over a year ago when he beat cancer.
Yeah, you can't boo a man that beat cancer.
I'm pretty sure other people.
They'll find a way.
They'll find a way. Something.
If you boo Roman, you suck. I don't know how else to put it. You suck.
I agree. I'm rocking my Roman little hoodie right now, and big fan of Roman, but happy he's back. And yeah, that was SummerSlam 2020. You'll never see it coming.
So you know what we didn't see though at SummerSlam?
What's it
coming?
No pre-recorded matches. It was it's the first one.
Yeah, I think it's because they have the Thunderdome now.
That's my thing. Is the Thunderdome then the death of pre-records?
Yeah, not for NXT. I think NXT still pre-recorded.
Or at least one every, a guaranteed one every pay-per-view then.
I think we're back to live.
Yeah, we might still get maybe one or two, though, when, Fiend does something, maybe.
Yeah, the cinematic matches you mean more, Justin?
Yeah.
Any of those?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I think they're kind of done. I think we might still get, maybe 1 to 2 a year, maybe, of just... here or there, people who can't really go in the ring, or if it's really needed for something, or like you said, people with character. If you have a character of some sort that you can build a set around and have all that, that's when they work best. We saw the Gargano and Ciampa, that cinematic match did not work for NXT because they didn't really have a character. But the Boneyard match, the Wyatt Swamp match, the Firefly Funhouse match, bless you,
Firefly Funhouse match was incredible.
It was great. My favorite's still the Boneyard, but it doesn't matter. They're both phenomenal. But you need a character to be involved to have a cinematic match. Undertaker, Bray Wyatt. It works so much better. But I hope it's not the end of them. I hope we see more, but you never know. Never know. Any final thoughts on SummerSlam?
We talked about it being a potential boom or bust pay-per-view, and it delivered.
It did what it had to do.
It could have fallen a lot. It could have fallen really flat, and thankfully it didn't. Now it's just interesting to see now how they'll capitalize on what they did at SummerSlam next weekend at Payback.
That's the most interesting part. That exactly Payback.
Because how do you? Because they really have Payback card. Because the Raw, SmackDown this week are literally the go home shows for Payback. Then.
Yeah.
Keith Lee is debuting on a go home show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Does Keith Lee wrestle at Payback? Oh yeah, they'll give him in a match with Dolph Ziggler.
Honestly, it wouldn't be bad to put.
Honestly, I would watch Lee Ziggler.
Yeah. No.
First match of the night, that'd be good.
Put him on the kickoff. Get
you
some
can't
eyes
put
on the
Keith Lee on a
kickoff.
kick.
Yes, you can. For a start, yes, you can.
Well, they didn't even put him on a takeover for like his first 5 months with the company.
Yeah. No,
he was doing his best of 7 with Dijakovic for ever.
When I went to TakeOver 25 last year, he was on the kickoff for NXT, and he wasn't even on the main card yet, and that was only a little over a year ago. So if you have his second match on the kickoff and he just gets a nice win, I'm okay with that for now. But in 6 months from now, if he's on the kickoff, I wouldn't be okay with that.
Like Kevin Owens is now.
Not even. He was
Kevin Owens is commentary.
Commentary.
He's good at commentary, but
very good in his little red skinny tie.
Put him and Samoa Joe back together.
Yeah,
that's a team. I'm down for that team. That's a team right there.
That was supposed to be a Mania match, I think.
I think so too. I honestly think so too.
Sad that we didn't.
But Jesse, any other final thoughts on SummerSlam?
Really weird that we didn't see Retribution whatsoever. That's my biggest takeaway. I really thought they were gonna play into something here. Yeah. But yeah, that was interesting. Good, solid show. Did what it needed to do. I think Bayley. I would say probably or not Bayley. Sasha Asuka was probably my match of the night. All things considered, I think best finish, best sequences. Yeah, good callback to the match earlier.
Yeah, me too. If Drew Orton ended differently, I'd probably pick that one. But I'd go Asuka and Sasha as well.
I agree.
Yeah. You agree? Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Look at that. All agree. I like that.
I also do think if they do McIntyre Orton again, it should be no DQ, false count anywhere, whatever. Because they clearly wanted to be outside the ring. Yeah. Especially in the first 10 minutes. Orton had to keep going back in.
Yeah.
And then, coming out, when he backdropped Drew onto the announce table twice. Maybe he had to go in, come back out.
Maybe you get a steel cage then.
Oh, that'd be good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it for this episode of the Department Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at @department_pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. Subscribe, turn on your notifications for YouTube, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and just thank you very much for listening. We really do appreciate it. We'll see you in the next show.